Snow falls gently over a quiet mountain village at dawn. The camera zooms in on snowy rooftops and narrow, icy roads. A golden-furred dog, wearing a bright orange jacket, steps out of a small wooden cabin. He stretches, breath turning into mist in the cold air. He wags his tail with determination, ready for another working day. A snowplow parked beside his cabin glistens under the early morning light. The dog hops toward it through the soft, powdery snow. He opens the garage door with a lever designed for paws. Inside, tools and winter gear hang neatly on the walls. He checks a map of the village pinned on a board. He nods firmly as he studies the blocked roads marked in red. The dog puts on a safety helmet with tiny ear holes. He tightens a small belt with reflective straps around his waist. He grabs a warm scarf and wraps it around his neck. The dog jumps into the driver's seat of the snowplow. He presses a large button that glows blue. The engine starts with a deep rumbling sound. Warm lights turn on inside the cab. The snowplow's front blade lifts and shifts into place. Steam rises from the exhaust as the machine warms up. The dog adjusts the mirrors to fit his height. He tests the horn. A cheerful honk echoes through the valley. He grips the steering wheel with both paws. He slowly drives forward out of the garage. Snow crunches under the heavy treads. He heads toward the first snow-blocked road. The camera switches to a drone shot view of the village. A long path buried under thick snow stretches ahead. The dog lowers the plow blade to the ground. He pushes the first big pile of snow to the side. Snow sprays gently into the air with each push. He focuses with bright, determined eyes. The snowplow moves slowly but steadily. He clears a long lane between rows of small wooden houses. Villagers peek out their doors, watching with gratitude. A child waves excitedly at the dog. He gives a joyful honk back in response. He continues pushing a heavier mound of snow. The machine hums loudly as the snow gets deeper. He leans forward, concentrating on the path. Snowflakes swirl around the giant metal blade. The road behind him becomes clean and safe. A villager walks out to test the cleared path. She gives a thumbs up toward the dog. He wags his tail happily inside the cab. The dog turns into a narrow alley filled with ice. He sprays salt from the plow's back attachment. The ice begins to melt and shimmer. He drives slowly to ensure every patch is covered. Scene shifts to a close-up of the melting crystals. The dog checks his dashboard display. It shows temperature, snow depth, and route progress. He nods, satisfied, and keeps moving. The wind blows strongly, making snow drift sideways. He adjusts the blade angle to handle drifting piles. The plow slices through the snow like a knife. Snow sprays in wide arcs on both sides. He clears a path leading to the village bakery. Warm light spills from the bakery windows. The baker waves gratefully. A stack of bread boxes sits outside, now reachable thanks to him. He continues onward, heading toward the frozen village square. His breath fogs up the window, so he wipes it with a paw. Snow starts falling heavier, making visibility harder. He slows down to drive carefully. Lights from the plow cut through the white snowfall. A large drift of snow blocks the square's entrance. He takes a deep breath and prepares to push it. The plow hits the pile and slowly moves it aside. His paws grip tighter on the wheel. The snow shifts and rolls like a fluffy wave. Finally, he breaks through to the village square. He clears around the fountain covered in thick snow. A small group of villagers gathers to watch. They cheer as the once buried square becomes visible again. The dog gives a happy bark from inside the cab. He parks for a moment to check his progress map. Half the village is now cleared. He drinks warm water from a thermos shaped like a bone. He wipes condensation from the windshield again. Then he starts the engine louder, ready for the next half of the village. The snowplow drives toward the northern edge of the village. Tall pine trees bend under the weight of the fresh snow. The dog squints through the falling snowflakes. He turns on the plow's high beam lights to brighten the path. The road ahead is completely buried, almost invisible. He lowers the blade again and pushes forward slowly. The plow digs into a deep wall of snow. Snow sprays high into the air like white fireworks. He leans his whole body forward to keep steady control. The treads grind through the icy ground beneath. He pushes until the wall of snow finally breaks apart. A long, narrow forest road appears behind him. Birds flutter out from snowy branches as the plow passes. A squirrel peeks down curiously from a tree. The dog gives a small, friendly honk to greet it. He continues deeper into the forest path. The wind whistles between the trees. Snowfall becomes heavier and swirlier. He activates the windshield heater to melt the frost. Warm air clears the glass, revealing the white path ahead. He drives carefully around a sharp corner. A fallen branch lies in the road, covered in snow. He stops to plow and steps outside with a shovel. The dog digs out the branch with slow, strong scoops. He drags it aside to clear the way. He hops back into the cab and shuts the door. Snow falls from his fur as he shakes himself dry. He continues plowing toward the forest exit. The path opens up to a hilltop view of the village. From above, half the roads are now clean and shining. He smiles proudly at his progress. The dog drives downhill toward the village farm area. A large barn sits buried in snow up to its windows. He aims the snowplow toward the barn entrance. He pushes a massive pile of snow aside. Snow rolls like soft clouds away from the door. The barn animals peek their heads out: cows, goats, and chickens. They cheer with happy sounds as the entrance clears. The dog gives a cheerful honk in reply. He circles the barn to clear the back path. Snow gathers in smooth curves along the plow blade. He pushes the last heavy mound away from the barn wall. Sunlight begins breaking through the gray morning clouds. Golden rays fall across the snowplow cabin. He stops for a moment to enjoy the warm light. Tiny sparkles glitter on the snow all around him. He checks his progress on the digital map again. Only a few roads remain to be cleared. The dog heads toward the village school. The playground is covered in deep snowdrifts. Swings hang frozen in place. Slides, climbing frames, and benches are buried. He drives slowly around the playground perimeter. He carefully pushes snow away from the play area. Soft piles form neat, safe banks on the sides. He clears a path to the school's front door. Teachers watching inside wave happily. He waves back with a paw from the window. The dog then heads to the last uncleared street. This road is the steepest in the village. Thick, heavy snow has piled up from the night storm. He takes a deep breath and lowers the blade fully. The plow hits the base of the hill with a strong push. The dog leans forward with complete focus. The engine hums loudly as snow compresses ahead. The plow crawls upward, inch by inch. Snow sprays off both sides like white waterfalls. His paws tighten on the steering wheel. The machine shakes from the weight of the snow. He does not give up. He pushes harder. Finally, the snow breaks, sliding down the hill. The road behind him becomes perfectly clear. He reaches the top and lets out a relieved bark. Wind blows gently as he looks around proudly. He turns the plow around and heads back downhill. The entire village begins to look bright and safe again. He drives through the main square for a final inspection. Villagers gather around, applauding for their heroic dog. Children run beside the snowplow, cheering. A small girl hands him a warm muffin as a thank you. He happily accepts it and gives a grateful tail wag. The mayor steps forward and hangs a medal on his scarf. The medal reads, "Village Snow Hero." Everyone claps and cheers loudly. The dog steps out of the plow and bows politely. Snowflakes drift softly around him like glitter. He jumps back into the cabin to park the machine. He drives slowly toward his wooden garage. The plow wheels crunch on the last bits of snow. He parks the machine neatly in its usual place. He wipes the snow off the controls and dashboard. Then he hangs his helmet and scarf back on the wall. He stretches after a long day of work. Warm lights in the garage flicker softly. He lets out a happy, tired sigh. The dog walks outside and looks at the village he cleared. Clean, safe roads shine under the afternoon sun. Villagers walk freely, laughing and talking. He sits proudly, tail gently wagging. The snowstorm was strong, but he was stronger. The camera pulls up to a wide shot of the peaceful village. Snow glimmers like diamonds across the rooftops. Fade out to the dog smiling at the camera.